In 2016, Qatar was named the most competitive economy in the Middle East, but the country has also been accused of extreme human rights violations. So just how powerful is Qatar? Well, Qatar is located in the Middle East, extending into the Persian Gulf, neighboring Saudi Arabia to the west, and the United Arab Emirates to the south. At roughly 4,500 square miles, Qatar is smaller than the state of Connecticut. But despite its size, its population is booming, with more than 2.5 million residents as of October 2016. The Qatar Peninsula, as part of the Persian Gulf, is located on top of significant petroleum deposits. Qatar contributes around 13% of the entire world's natural gas supply, with gas and oil comprising 92% of the country's export earnings. Qatar's rapid expansion over the past 30 years is a direct indicator of its high per capita GDP. At just more than $74,000 per person, Qatar ranks as one of the highest in the world as of 2015, just below Luxembourg, Switzerland, and Norway, and on some lists, Macau. While Qatar is primarily driven by its oil and gas revenues, manufacturing, construction, and financial services account for just over half of the country's GDP, which is roughly $167 billion. Unlike many of its neighbors, Qatar remains largely unaffected by social unrest and political uprising, and its military remains modest, with 12,000 total active military personnel, the lowest in the region. Statistics from 2010 show that Qatar spends only 1.5% of its GDP on defense, considerably below neighboring Saudi Arabia's current rate of 13.5%. Qatar's relations with the United States blossomed in 1991 after it helped American forces repel an Iraqi attack in Saudi Arabia, the first ground engagement of the Gulf War. Today, Qatar continues to host a large U.S. military presence and maintains a mutual defense pact. Qatar is peaceful and ranks highly in categories such as low unemployment and limited risk for terrorism and natural disasters. But it is not without problems. The country faces backlash against its treatment of migrant workers in preparation for the World Cup. Workers' groups first complained in 2014 about harsh working conditions, non-payment, and forced labor camps for nearly 1.5 million people. In March 2016, Qatar was given 12 months to end migrant worker slavery or face a UN investigation, the fifth ever country to face such a formal inquiry. Qatar has power in prosperity and political soundness, but its small military and the treatment of its labor force raise doubts about its full potential. We can't do episodes like this without our sponsors, and this episode is brought to you by Domain.com. If you're an entrepreneur, innovator, or building a small business, Domain.com is the place to go when that next great idea hits you. You can get 20% off Domain.com's already affordable domain names and web hosting when you use coupon code SEEKER at checkout. When you think domain names, think Domain.com. It's hard to imagine what Qatar would look like without its enormous oil supply. While petroleum has proven to be an invaluable resource to the country, declining oil prices are having a huge impact on the economy. So could Qatar and other countries in the Middle East ever survive without oil? Find out more in this video.
One particularly frightening report from the International Monetary Fund stated that most Middle Eastern countries could run out of money in just 5 years. But the oil-rich Middle East has spent significant wealth on trying to find new sources of income once the petroleum economy becomes unprofitable.
Thanks for watching Seeker Daily. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos every day.